Recording, and I'm gonna be a host now. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Sony. We're gonna give people 1 more minute to jump in and then we'll get started. I see people are slowly making their way in. So hello, everyone.
Yeah, guys, as always, we'll be in the chat. So if you don't feel like talking or don't want to talk, just chat it up and we'll respond instantly.
Happy Friday.
Yes, happy Friday.
Excellent.
Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm seeing we got some more people in the chat here.
Courtney, my Ric Flair shoes came in. I'm going to send them over to you.
Okay. Okay, I think we're good. We'll let people still kind of come in, but I'm going to share my screen with everyone. All right. Let's go here. All right. There we go. All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to your 4th and final week for our #Goals program. My name is Coach Courtney. You guys are familiar by now. Just a reminder, we have Orlando, John, and Sony on the call and in the chat. So if you have any questions about the program or about any of the presentation or the worksheets, feel free to pop them in the chat. And then after this call or after this brief presentation, we're going to just open it up. I know this is the last week, so any questions you guys have about moving forward and how to sustain the motivation and momentum, we'll open it up to our coaches and have a nice little discussion. But first, we wanted to give you guys a big thank you, big congratulations in completing this 4 weeks. We know there was a lot of barriers over the last 4 weeks with just like attending these workshops, completing the worksheets, and just kind of like learning to put your health and your goals as a priority. So we appreciate your dedication. We appreciate you guys coming to these workshops. We've really enjoyed getting to chat with you guys again. And hopefully in the future, we'll be able to see y'all in the gym again. And we just have a better relationship since we've gone through this program together. So thank you again. And today we're going to be discussing our last topic, which is celebrating our small successes. So it's only appropriate at the end we learn to acknowledge and appreciate the hard work we've put in. No matter how big or small the successes are, they're always important to acknowledge. You've had to work through the winter storm, through spring break, right? Through working from home, so many obstacles. So it's important to acknowledge those. So we are going to get started here first with breaking down the importance of celebrating these small wins. So last week, we talked a little bit about the habit loop, right? The habit feedback loop. So we have your cue, your craving, your response, and then your reward. And that reward is really what dictates everything else. Without a perceived reward, there is no need for a craving. There is no craving, there is no desire, there is no motivation to act. So we don't take any action on the behavior or the habit we're trying to implement. So we have to learn how to create a reward system that sustains that motivation until we reach that large goal we've set. So a lot of times, I think we're all guilty of this, right? We wait until we've reached the larger goal, the larger outcome goal. We wait until we've reached that outcome to celebrate or acknowledge our success. But it's really important to create that positive association between the habit and you and your brain, and create a positive relationship between those two before that outcome occurs. Because without that, we're never going to actually reach that outcome. So learning to acknowledge just like the small attempts, the small behaviors are really important in getting that habit to stick. Without that perceived reward, it's really hard to convince yourself to do something over and over again, right? So if, for example, if we're thinking about incorporating workouts into our routine and all we think about are the negatives of a workout, it takes time out of our day. I don't want to get sweaty. I don't want to drive to the gym. All of these negative associations, it's really hard to convince yourself to repeat that behavior and over again. So we have to kind of create like an external, maybe artificial reward system that allows our behavior to be repeated. Eventually, our goal is to have the habit be the motivator itself, right? But we know it takes time for that behavior to see its like true impact and true effect. There's like this valley of work that has to be done before there is like an outcome from this behavior. So we need to create a system where we reward ourselves for our small attempts. So for example, we have here on the left-hand side, your tiny habit method. We passed this worksheet out to you guys on Monday. So we've talked a lot about creating plans that you can act on and not just like arbitrarily throwing things into the universe and hoping they stick. So here you have an anchor moment, a tiny behavior, and then a celebration. And these are really small. So it's just really just acknowledging the effort it took to put this habit into play. So example here, your anchor moment is brushing your teeth, and your tiny behavior is drinking a glass of water. So we don't expect you to celebrate by like buying yourself a new pair of shoes by drinking one glass of water, right? That's not the point. But just by acknowledging that effort, maybe you check it off on a tracking list. I've mentioned this to some of my members or my clients, is the marble theory. So you have like, imagine you have 2 jars, right? One jar, let's say, has 10 marbles in it, and your goal is to do 10 workouts in a month. Every time you complete a workout, you can move that marble to the empty jar. By the end of the month, you should have 10 marbles in this new jar. And after you do that, you can celebrate in some way. So maybe you can buy yourself that new pair of running shoes. You can buy a massage, whatever, take the night off. There's some reward system and it's just like a little motivator to keep you going, even when the habit itself is not the motivator quite yet. Another example, if you're trying to remove something from your day, is kind of hard. So like trying to break bad habits, it's hard to reward yourself for that because it's something you're not doing, right? So a good example here I've read is if you're trying to remove eating takeout from your day, every time you choose to not eat takeout, you can take that money you were going to spend and put it into a savings account. And you can use that money maybe in like 6 months for a trip, or you can use it for a new piece of fitness equipment you've always wanted. It's just like a little way to kind of like trick yourself into sustaining the motivation with, even if you're not loving that habit or that behavior quite yet. And then here on the right-hand side, we have some easy examples. Share it with people you love, repeat a celebratory mantra, acknowledge each effort, unplug for the night. So these are just some easy examples you can start incorporating into your day. And it's just really important to complete that habit loop and reward yourself to create that positive association between the end result of a habit and the cue. Okay, now moving on into gratitude. How we think about our habits and view our habits before they happen can really have a huge impact on whether we actually perform or not. So a good example here is just by switching one word, right? You can change the way you perceive a habit. So a lot of times when we are starting to add in a new routine, new healthy habits, we say we have to do something. We have to eat healthy. We have to work out. We have to wake up early. We have to go to sleep early. Well, that has to, right? You know that word have to means you don't want to. Your brain knows that, and it's going to find any excuse you can to stop you from performing that habit. So instead of saying, I have to do something, you just switch it to, I get to do something. And that immediately changes the way you view the habit itself, right? It's something so easy. It's just a mindset shift that you can begin adapting. Instead of saying, I have to work out, you say, I get to work out. I get to improve my strength. I get to work on my speed. I get to feel healthy. It takes time to adopt this mindset, but it's also so easy to do. If you just catch yourself in the way you speak to yourself and the way you speak about your habits, you can begin to like stop yourself, check yourself, and shift the way you think about them. Gratitude is huge. I think that like gratitude is really having its moment on social media these days, but it is an important component in setting goals. So we've created this sheet for you. If you are looking to like just practice gratitude into your day more frequently, we gave you this sheet. Some people like to do this like every evening or every morning. Some people more prefer like a weekly or monthly basis, but just reminding you like maybe your habits are tough and you're struggling, but you have things to be grateful for. And there are aspects in your life that you are enjoying, right? So what you're grateful for, who you're grateful for, obstacles you're learning from, and the best part of your day. These are some easy questions. You can just begin to like create that mindset shift to make those habits more attractive. We learned last week that the cue, you want to create as least friction as you can between you and the cue, right? And you want to make the cue as attractive as possible. So by changing that word from I have to do something to I get to do something, it makes the habit seem more appealing and more attractive. So that's a really easy shift you can begin adopting today. Okay, now what to do when motivation fades. So we have a few more kind of like resources we're going to give you to put in that toolkit over the last 4 weeks. That's really what we've been trying to do, is just give you those resources and education and conversations to build that toolkit when motivation runs dry and you have to rely on something else. So number one, remember your mind is a suggestion engine. When you think about something you have to do, right, you're going to get a flood of thoughts. For example, if I have to work out tonight, I'm going to be thinking, I'm too tired. I could be doing something else. I don't want to do it. All of these thoughts come through, right? And if we just act on our first thought, we probably will not act on that habit. But if you pause for a moment, you might have like a new flood of thoughts that come through. Maybe then you can begin thinking about, I've made a commitment. I should stick to my commitment. It's in my schedule. You know, I've got to begin building confidence. Maybe a new flood of thoughts comes through. So these are all just thoughts. They don't have to become actions. They don't have to become your new behaviors. You don't have to become your thoughts. So just remember, your mind is a suggestion engine. It's not a demand. It's an option. Discomfort is temporary. Your habit is one brief moment in your day. You can get through a 30-minute workout in the grand scheme of your day. It's so small, right? And you'll never regret good work once it's done. It's very rewarding. We all know this. It feels good to get through something, to grind through something, to achieve something on the other end. We all want, a flat tummy and big, strong arms, but are we willing to grind through that workout to achieve that goal? You have to be willing to put in the work and willing to appreciate the hard work to get on the other side of it. Okay, now a few more kind of like easy things you can do, resources you can do to sustain the momentum we've built throughout this program. I really like this one. You probably already do this on your own. It is temptation bundling. So this is really interesting. We talked a lot about having that the importance of having that reward to drive the craving and the response. And you can take a deeper look into that by analyzing the dopamine drive feedback loop, which provides an important window into the biological underpinnings of desire, craving, and motivation behind every habit. So when we predict that an opportunity will be rewarding, our levels of dopamine actually spike in anticipation. And when our levels of dopamine spike, so does our motivation to act. So that's why the marble theory or saving your money or creating that like checklist is really important. It provides that perceived reality that there's going to be a reward at the end of this habit. The desire is the engine that drives our behavior. We need to make our habits as attractive as possible to set that expectation for that reward. And that's where temptation bundling comes into play. Like I said, you probably already do this, but you can begin incorporating this more into your routine. Essentially, you're taking a more probable behavior, something you want to do, and bundling it with something that you don't really want to do, probably your habit you're trying to incorporate. So I do this a lot if I know I should be going for a run today. And I really am just not feeling it, but I also really want to listen to a certain podcast that just came out. I just bundle them, right? I want to get outside. I know I need to move my body and I want to listen to a podcast. Well, I'll just bundle all three of those. And it's more motivating for me to get outside and move because I have my podcast, right? A good one is if you're wanting to empty out your inbox, you set an appointment for a pedicure, sit down on your pedicure, doing something you want to do and empty out that inbox. So you bundle something with you want to do with something you don't really want to do to make it more appealing. Temptation bundling. Never miss twice. Tip number 2. We talked a little bit about this last week, but the first mistake is not the one that ruins us and propels us off of our current trajectory, right? It's just the spiraling of the repeated mistake that causes that shift in our current trajectory. So really what we're trying to do is use these habits to compound and build up that energy for some kind of breakthrough moment, right? But the key with compounding elements is we don't want to shift that compounding motivation, right? So if we've been repeating a habit, and then we slowly start to drift, we have setbacks, well, actually starting like a new habit. And all you'll really have to do, I think sometimes we think too much about this, right? If we have a setback, we have a day where we don't eat so healthy, or we skip a workout, we like to try and overcompensate. We're like, okay, well, I had a setback here, so I'm going to jump way up here to even myself back out. You don't have to do that. You just have to get back on track. Just do the best you can the next day. And remember, something is better than nothing. With compounding effects, going to the gym for 5 minutes doesn't improve your performance by much or your weight loss by much, but it reaffirms that identity and it reaffirms that compounding effect. So showing up on your bad days is actually more important than showing up on your good days. So never miss twice. If you can, you have one setback, just jump right back on it. No need to overcompensate, and no need to let that one setback spiral you off your current trajectory. Okay, number 3, reflect and reset. We learned in week 1 that habits are, essentially on autopilot. We don't think about them currently. Maybe we're thinking about our new habits because they're fresh and they're not ingrained yet, but eventually those habits should become routine. And when they do, we need to have some kind of check-in system where we can see if we can improve on that habit or improve on a new habit. So I think in week 2, we had you do your habit scorecard. That's one example where you can just check in and see where you can improve and see where you're being successful. It's just important to have some kind of reporting system with yourself, whether that's monthly or maybe every 6 months. Just have some kind of system for yourself where you can see where you can improve and where you're being successful. I like this example here. Looking too closely at your habits, like day in and day out, we can overanalyze and be overly critical of any failures, quote unquote, or setbacks. And it's like looking in a mirror, like an inch away, right? All you can do is hyper focus on every little flaw that you see, and you're really missing the bigger picture. So you don't need to overly analyze your habits, but never looking in a mirror, right? Never reassessing your habits doesn't allow you to fix easy flaws that you can, use one of our strategies and to easily overcome. You're never going to see those flaws if you never look in the mirror. So we have this yearly integrity report here for y'all. This is one example that just kind of checks in if you're living in alignment with your vision statement that we created on week 1, and really asks you to assess your core values and determine whether you're living in alignment with those core values or not. And then allows you to assess areas where you're finding challenges and obstacles. So that's one example, but always reflect and reset. And then lastly, we have the support system. So this is huge. This is like one of the most important strategies, I guess, you can utilize to build those healthy habits. Humans are herd animals, right? We want to fit in, we want to bond with each other, we want to have relationships. And we want to earn the respect of our peers. So who we surround ourselves with really has a huge impact on how we behave and what we find important and what we find unimportant. Our earliest habits are adopted from imitating people around us, right? Proximity has a powerful effect on our behavior. So if you can, try and join a group or create a group of people that are already achieving what you want to achieve. Join a culture where your desired behavior is the norm. So it shows you that the habits you're trying to achieve are attainable, and it gives you accountability and it gives you a support system. So if you want to be a better reader, join a book club. If you want to get in more steps, create a walking group at work. If you want to improve your fitness and get stronger, hire a trainer, work with a coach, join a fitness club. Just join a group where the people are already being successful in what you're trying to achieve. And that is huge in getting you closer toward reaching your goals. So that, I think, is it. That's the wrap up of our 4th and final week, just understanding the importance of celebrating, even if it's so small as drinking a glass of water, just acknowledging the effort that it took to, start building new habits and allow yourself to build a positive association with these new habits. And begin shifting that mindset from something you have to do to something you get to do. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I'm going to open it up to my coaches here, open it up to our members. If you guys have any questions while my coaches are talking, I'm going to be in the chat. So feel free to throw them out. And John and Orlando, I look forward to hearing from you guys.
Yeah, I got a couple things. Courtney kind of covered a ton of different topics, all kind of in more so what I would say like the correct order to follow as well. So just a couple things that I want to cover that she also covered. First of all, right off the bat, you guys just completed a 4-week commitment. So big round of applause for that. First of all, you got to go out of your way to sign up for our program. So you made that initial commitment 4 weeks ago, maybe 5 weeks ago now, and you made it through all 4 weeks. So again, that's a big accomplishment in itself, completing the program. In a perfect world, we would have been doing a little bit of virtual stuff and in person. So that's where hopefully as we continue towards getting out of the pandemic, we'll be able to combine some of those where, again, Courtney kind of touched on gratitude, on joining groups where people are already being successful. Right off the bat, the example I like using, so we were able to get you all to commit to joining us here on Friday at 11 in the morning for about 4 weeks now. So that's something that I would love to transition to an in-person, a 30-minute class, a 25-minute class, whatever it might be, to where now instead of us virtually, now we're meeting in person covering all kinds of topics, a workout, maybe another small little lecture, whatever it might be. But again, these are the little habits that you're already building that then we can even build upon a little bit more. So this 11:15 in the morning, if this is a good time for you all, maybe between us, the coaches, we can get together, we can come up with an idea for a group exercise class at 11:15 in the morning, same exact time slot. And then now it turns into us meeting virtually, and so now we're meeting in person, those type of things. So since we did meet virtually for the most part, it was a little bit more of a focus on our health, on our mental health, those type of things. Once we do start meeting in person a little bit more, obviously we can transition to our fitness, health and fitness, cover kind of the all-encompassing aspects of health, fitness, performance training, again, whatever it might be. But again, really more than anything, I just want to give you all mad props on completing the program. To give you a little bit of an idea, this is about how a personalized exercise program will work as well. We'll write you out a program for about 4 weeks. You stick to that program for about 4 weeks, and then we meet, and then we come up with a new plan. What's next? What's going to get us to our goal? What can we do to make it a little more difficult so that we get to our goal a little quicker, or maybe we change our goal and now we start coming up with new things that we want to do, whatever it might be. But again, hopefully here in the next couple of weeks, next couple of days, we'll be able to meet you all in person and then now give you a little bit of what we provide, the other part that we provide, which is the in-person training, where again, Courtney will be able to give you a little bit of accountability. John will give you accountability. You'll be able to join a group where we are already being successful, and there's other members in there that are successful, and then now you're kind of joining a group right into a group that's already successful. You'll be able to hop right in, get right into rhythm, and again, get to your goal a lot quicker than we might have first anticipated. Lastly, again, we've kind of talked about those worksheets a lot, but a couple of the words that stuck out to me on the personal values. So health, again, the past 4 weeks we've been virtual. So we've been trying to help you all a little bit more with your mental health, your mindset, those type of things. Again, it's all encompassing. So once we're able to get back in person, we do want to get with your fitness, with your actual physical health, physical fitness. That's all things that we can do going forward once we meet in person. Competitiveness, I'm a highly competitive person. So if you do join one of my group exercise classes, you can expect a little bit of competition in there, whether it be just competing with yourself. Maybe I challenge you to try a new exercise. I challenge you to try a new weight. Whatever it might be, you versus the rest of the group, you versus me, whatever it might be. But I do like adding a little bit of competitiveness in there to whatever we do, anything that we do. Determination, which again, you guys kind of already checked that box off 4 weeks ago. You signed up for this program. Hopefully you were determined to finish it. Today's the final day. Again, congratulations. So we do need a little bit of that determination, a little bit of that commitment, which again, you guys already showed. Balance. Although this is our industry, this is what we love to do, we do also realize that it's a little bit of a balance. So like Courtney said, you will have those great, amazing days where you made it and you got 60 minutes of exercise, great. But then maybe there is a couple of days where you're not feeling it too much. Maybe you go in there and you do a quick 20, 25-minute workout. Well, that's the kind of the balance we're talking about, is don't let the bad day ruin you for the rest of the week. And then now, because you got one day of only 25 minutes of exercise, you tell yourself, oh, I'll start again next week, whatever it might be. But again, we will always try and help you find that balance so that you don't think it's, oh, a workout or nothing, or I didn't work out today, my life is over. No, there's just a fine balance that we can find. And then just to put that a little forward, even getting into like your diet, there's a fine balance between, oh, I'm cutting all the unhealthy stuff, to, hey, there are a couple of treats that I like giving myself as a reward or whatever it might be. Again, just goes to balance in the diet, balance in your exercise, just always balance in just your entire life. And then lastly, integrity. So everything that we do, obviously you can see Courtney's presentations, everything has resources, science back, those type of things. So we will always try and do right by you guys. You guys show up to our class, show up on time, do what you're supposed to do. We're going to do what we're supposed to do. Again, try and get you to your goal a little bit quicker, challenge you, whatever it might be. But we will always try and do right by you. If you give us 100%, I'm going to give you 100% right back in everything that we do together. And then again, it's all about getting you to your goal, a little bit closer to your goal. Last thing I want to touch on is the gratitude. We as coaches are very grateful to have you all show up to our class, to have you all show up to the session in person, 30 minutes, 60 minutes, whatever it might be. Again, anything that we can do to keep you guys motivated, to keep you all moving forward, trending up closer to your goal, please let us know. And then hopefully together we can be grateful all the time, working together all the time, working hard, and just kind of always striving up. So John, if you have anything to add, very grateful for you guys joining us.
Yeah, with the day-to-day, like Orlando and what Courtney were saying, with the day-to-day, it can get extremely overwhelming. Sleep, what you're eating, how you're training, doing all this stuff. This is where technology is your friend. This that I have on my wrist, or if you have a wearable device, what I receive is a weekly assessment, and I receive a monthly assessment and a yearly assessment as well. So I'm able to sit down, break down a full infographic of different charts and everything, and see, okay, this is what I did last week. This is where I was good at. This is what I was crappy at. This is what I need to work on. This is what I did well. It gives you that full comprehensive analysis of what you're doing. So I want you guys to take the performance as a day-to-day approach, because if you do that, then you're going to have the success. You're going to have the results. One of the most overlooked things in performance is actually sleep. And we don't, as humans, we don't think about it. And as society, if you sleep more than 4 hours, you're lazy. And that's something that, I have to work on. Sleep is one of my worst attributes and everything. So, but I don't say, okay, I had a good sleep here, I had a bad sleep here, I had a good sleep here. You take that information all together and then go with that. And then with the goals, guys, like Orlando said, this is kind of like a capital investment. You guys did 4 weeks. You guys did a great job. You guys committed to a process. Now the work begins. You have all these tools and all these resources, and you're ready for us to come coach you. And, we're getting the details going on about the gym and all that type of stuff. When that stuff happens, now it's time to put in the execution part of everything. And, with goals, the biggest thing with goals, guys, is you do want to reassess that. Take the time to reassess. Goals don't necessarily have to be in a gym. They can be professional goals. They could be career goals. They could be personal goals. They could be relationship goals. Take the time to have that talk. Obviously, you don't have to, critique yourself left and right. There's times where, excuse me, there's times where if I'm upset about something going on in my work life or personal life, that I'll just pick everything apart and start going crazy on myself and be my own biggest critique. Take the time to fully reassess that. Is it something I want to do? Is this something I want to pursue? Is this something that I can achieve? Have that conversation with yourself, because you can fool, everybody else around you. You can fool the world around you, but you can't fool yourself. So do have that honest conversation with yourself, but don't do it regularly because it is mentally draining. But always be willing to assess and reassess. Once you do that and you kind of get that pattern going, then every single goal you have is going to be met. And then with adaptability and evolving, just like last year, for myself, for an example, a lot of my career stuff that I wanted to do, a lot of personal stuff I wanted to do last year got pulled. within days. Like the whole year plan I had just got pulled. So you have to adapt, you have to evolve, you have to, work around those things and then hopefully build something new, build something that's even better than it was before. So congratulations, everybody. You guys did great. I enjoy the correspondence between everybody, even if you're not on the Zoom call. I enjoy the emails and everything. And just don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to ask us. Don't be afraid. There's a lot of this whole philosophy of this gym intimidation. I don't believe in gym intimidation at all. I think it's the most asinine thing that you could come up with. So get over that like stereotype and then just hit us up and we're here for you. So we got you.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you, guys. I want to address a couple questions we have in the chat, and I think we have maybe like 8 minutes left. So a lot of word about the gym opening up, right? I think there's like a lot of rumors going around currently. And unfortunately, we don't have the final say on that. So when we have the information, we will absolutely give y'all the information. So we appreciate everyone's excitedness. We are super excited to work with everyone back in person. There will be, some gym criteria. We are in a pandemic. So when that information is finalized, you will absolutely hear it from Samsung and from our staff. So that should be coming soon, but we don't want to like get anyone's hopes up and then it change, right? So, but it's coming, hopefully, fingers crossed. So you should hear from more about that. And then we also had some people asking about next programs. So yes, we will have another program coming up. We're kind of like in like a little limbo situation right now because we are waiting to hear those details. We want to know if our program is going to be virtual or in person or a blend of both, right? So hang tight on that. We are working on it, but we also would love to hear from you. Like if you're looking, what topics you're looking to hear about? Like, do you want to focus more on like competition, like a fitness competition? Do you want to move more? This was obviously a more educational based program, a lot of resources, workshops, worksheets, that type of thing. And I think it went well, but we also really enjoy more challenges and competition and trying just to get you guys
Courtney, I'm gonna jump
more.
in real quick. Mike asked about balance between recovery and workout and injury prevention. I would say that's probably the #1 topic in the industry right now with, how do you balance a full workload? How do you balance a full workout load? How do you prevent injury? Especially when you guys come back to the gym, whenever that happens, return to sport. As you can see in the NBA, MLB, MLS, NFL, you see 1,000 injuries, and these are professional athletes. Same thing with you guys. When you guys return to the gym, how can we balance that so you guys do not get injured? I would love to do a challenge on that and, get the education out there about recovery. There are so many things that are coming out on the industry as far as technology and tools that we can utilize for recovery. So I would look forward to do something like that.
Again, we're kind of covering all of as a company, our pillars, mindset. So this program is a little bit more of our mindset, motivation, those type of things. We have movement as well, which obviously, hopefully we can meet in person, and we want to get you guys moving together, coaching you guys in person. John just touched on nutrition, which is another one. I think there was a question in the chat as well. We can 100% give you a little bit of guidance on your nutrition. We're not dietitians, so we can't really, lay out a huge diet plan for you, but we can give you a little bit of tips, couple of helps on your nutrition. And then lastly, obviously the recovery. What I've come to find is you all are not great at determining the intensity of your workouts, which is good. For the most part, you guys work out very, very intensely and you don't realize it. You don't realize that what you're missing is that recovery. So just last thing I'll throw in there, for me personally, whenever I am feeling like, okay, maybe I'm a little bit too worn out, I need to go into my recovery protocols. Usually for me, the yoga is a go-to. Again, people don't realize how hard yoga is and how intense of a workout it is, but it is a little bit more for recovery. It does stretch those muscles, contract those muscles, hits those parts of the body that might be a little bit more sore, a little bit more intense than lifting weights, but it still gives you a good intensity to where you still get a good workout, but you're recovering through that and not, the next day you're not completely sore, completely tight. So 100% we can give you all kinds of help on, again, the mindset, the nutrition, the movement and the recovery. All those should be pillars that we cover pretty much every quarter. We should cover those with a little bit of help with you, whether in person or virtual, just kind of go forward from that.
Yeah, absolutely. We have like a minute and a half, so I'm just going to wrap it up here. But again, like we've said over and over again, we really appreciate you showing up to this workshop and even just responding to an email. It can be really hard to get people to respond to us. So we really appreciate you guys going out of your way to make the effort to participate and engage in this program. We really hope you found some, tangible takeaways that you're going to utilize in your life. Monday, we're going to send out an email with some follow-up questions, try and get your feedback a little bit more and learn like what you want to see moving forward. And if you have any questions, then please respond. We're going to do program winners and announcements next week as well. So thank you guys again. Any questions, shoot us an email. We are always available for one-on-one coaching and one-on-one guidance. So thank you guys again. We really appreciate it.
Thank you guys.
And
Appreciate it.
have a great weekend.
Congratulations.
Have fun. See ya.
Bye, everyone.